Tamar's story begins in the book of Genesis, nestled within a family marked by complex relationships and ancient customs. Her name, which means palm tree, alluding to her beauty, resilience, and grace, traits that echo throughout her journey. Another Tamar, the daughter of King David, also shared this name and reputation for beauty. Tamar, a Canaanite woman, was brought into Judah's family when she married his eldest son, But Er's wickedness led to his death before Tamar could bear a child. According to the tradition of levirate marriage, Judah then instructed his second son, Onan, to marry Tamar and produce offspring to carry on Er's line. Yet, Onan refused to fulfill his duty, acting with deliberate neglect, and he too met an early death. Gripped by fear, Judah hesitated to offer his last son, Shelah, to Tamar, fearing that he might suffer the same fate. Judah instructed Tamar to live as a widow in her father's household, promising that when Shelah grew older, he would fulfill the marriage. So, Tamar returned to her family, waiting, watching, and trusting in Judah's promise. Eventually, Shelah matured, but was kept away from Tamar. Realizing she had been deceived and would never be given a place back in Judah's family, Tamar boldly took matters into her own hands. Determined to reclaim her right, Tamar took an extraordinary step. She disguised herself, covered her face, and waited along a road she knew Judah would travel. When Judah passed by, he saw only a veiled woman and didn't recognize her as his daughter-in-law. Tamar cleverly negotiated a pledge from Judah, a signet ring, his cord, and his staff, valuable items that represented his identity and authority. They served as collateral, a promise that Judah would return with payment. Months later, when Tamar's pregnancy became evident, Judah, unaware of his role, condemned her for immorality and demanded she be burned. But Tamar revealed the items Judah had left with her, proving his identity as the father of her unborn child. Confronted with the truth, Judah felt a deep wave of shame. Realizing his own failure to honor his word, he admitted,
"She is more righteous than I."
acknowledging that Tamar had sought only what was rightfully hers. Tamar soon gave birth to twins, Pharez and Zerah, and through Pharez, her name and legacy continued. If you have watched the video up till this point, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share the video with your friends. We also like to hear your comments in the comment section. Now, back to our story. This moment marked a turning point in Judah's life, deeply influencing his character and spiritual journey. Until then, he had acted impulsively and selfishly. At the start of Genesis 38, Judah had distanced himself from his family, marrying a Canaanite woman, perhaps symbolizing a detachment from the values and covenant promises of his heritage. He had even proposed selling his brother Joseph into slavery. However, the crisis with Tamar forced Judah to confront his actions and develop a deeper sense of justice and humility. In a later crisis, Judah found himself standing before Joseph, now a powerful Egyptian official and unknown to him. When Joseph demanded that Judah's youngest brother Benjamin stay as a hostage, Judah, now filled with compassion and remorse, stepped forward. Unlike before, he didn't hesitate to offer himself as a substitute, risking his own life for Benjamin's freedom. Tamar's legacy lived on, not only in her children, but in Judah's newfound integrity and sense of sacrifice. But Tamar's story is not simply about one woman's resilience and her influence on Judah. It's also a powerful symbol of justice, redemption, and the surprising ways in which God works. Tamar's brave actions kept Judah's family line intact. It was a line that would one day include some of Israel's most significant figures, including King David, and much later, Jesus Christ. She acted as a beacon of justice, not only for herself, but for all who had been overlooked or denied their rightful place. Her story became a testament to God's ability to use flawed situations and imperfect people to bring about His purposes. The ancestry of Pharez, Tamar's son, holds a deep, symbolic message. According to Mosaic law, an illegitimate child could not enter the Lord's assembly for up to the 10th generation. This reference to 10 generations in Deuteronomy chapter 23 might indeed apply to Phares' descendants that culminated with David. The genealogy included Phares, Hezron, Ram, Amminadab, Nahshon, Salmon, Boaz, Obed, Jesse, and finally David. As it turned out, in spite of its seemingly impure beginnings, Phares' lineage now included notable figures like Boaz, who showed kindness and loyalty in his marriage to Ruth, becoming the great-grandfather of King David. David's arrival in the 10th generation seems to fulfill this law, and any perceived curse tied to Phares' line appears to end with David's kingship. This ancestry shows that God values inner character and faith, choosing people based on their hearts rather than by their heritage. Tamar's boldness and Judah's transformation thus illustrate how God works, even through complex and messy situations. Despite its ancient setting, Tamar's story resonates with lessons that are relevant today. It reveals the importance of standing up for fairness, especially for those who feel powerless. Judah's failure to uphold his responsibility to Tamar created a precarious situation, reminding us of the harm that neglecting responsibilities can cause. Yet, her resourcefulness and determination allowed her to claim what was rightfully hers. Tamar's actions remind us that choosing to do the right thing often requires courage, a willingness to step forward when others fail to act. In time, Judah's character grew as he grappled with his failings. He became a man who no longer shirked responsibility, and his growth offers hope that people are not defined by their past mistakes. Judah's transformation shows that with humility and repentance, change is always possible. Tamar's unconventional actions show her bravery in seeking justice for herself. Through her journey, we see that God's purpose can shine through unlikely people and imperfect situations. Her story teaches us that God uses everyone, regardless of how society may judge them. On the other hand, Judah's failure to support Tamar calls attention to the importance of family duty. Neglecting such responsibilities can have significant consequences, emphasizing the value of fulfilling our obligations, especially to those who rely on us. In the end, Tamar and Judah's complicated circumstances led to a lineage that included David and Jesus Christ, showing us that even broken or difficult paths can serve a greater purpose. For more riveting stories from the Bible, subscribe to Faith Reflections 247 now.